Hey there! Today is Sunday, June 13th, 2021, and this is the week 23 Return to Creativity update with your hostess, Jennifer Vanderbeek of scrapsoflife.com. Whew! How are you guys doing? How was your week? Did you do anything creative for yourself? Did you do anything that helps your mental health or your day-to-day life? That is strictly for you and not for society at large. I mean, unless the things you do for society is for you. I mean, I understand that can be a whole thing, but let's not get on that tangent. Oh boy, yeah. That could take us somewhere, but I'm not really, I don't think I'm up for that today. So anyway, my week, well, it was better than last week. No blow-ups at the office. One meltdown, but it was private. So, these things happen. Yeah, so much going on, and yet not enough. Too much of some things, not enough of the other. I mean, it's kind of like the status quo these days, and I admit I'm chafing at that a little bit, but I'm working towards changing that, and we just kind of gotta keep on keeping on. All right, so first things first, I got new glasses this week. I actually got 3 pairs of new glasses. 2 that I ordered online, and then this pair that I got from the optometrist, the office. I don't remember, and I'm not gonna go back and look. So I don't know if I told you or not, but I let him talk me into ordering bifocals. And I thought everything was fine there in the office because, I didn't notice anything weird. I didn't notice anything weird until I got back into my normal environment, and yeah, things started like getting swimmy is putting it nicely. It's more like, reality tilted on its axis. I'm learning to, I'm adapting, I'm trying to at least, and I'm going to give it another full week before I decide if I want to take them back and have them put single vision lenses on it. The other 2 pairs I got are single vision lenses. I had 0 problem with those, of course. But yeah, it's almost like you can do nothing except for look straight ahead. I know you're supposed to be able to like look up and down through the different parts of the lens, and that's fine, but like looking to the side and then moving your head, or moving your head and then looking to the side, if the eyes and the head don't stay straight forward when you're moving or shifting your gaze, for me at least, that's when things kind of tilt, and it's really disconcerting. So yeah, that's been fun. I mean, I don't want to sound like I'm bitching about it, and I'm more like, wow, this is just so strange. It's more poking fun at myself in the situation than anything. But anyway, so yeah, that happened. But I do like the frames. They're navy and they're rectangular, and they remind me very much of the pair that I used to have until Duncan got a hold of them and decided to destroy them. I never found the second lens. I mean, he totally chewed those up. So I don't know. So yeah, this is what I was looking for style-wise, but I don't know about lens-wise. We'll see. Anyway, I got 30 days, and then they'll change them out for me if within that 30 days if I really can't stand the bifocals. Let's see. Project-wise, the coloring book, of course, is still the main focus. I am happy to report that as of last night, before I went to bed last night, I reached the midpoint of the book, putting in all of the page captions and little fun facts and trivia. So I am halfway through that. Whew. So another few hours this upcoming week should take care of that. And I know because I bought this little thing, I left it on the other side of my desk, and I'm not going to pause filming to go get it. I'm just out. We'll just have to deal. If you go on Amazon and search Cube Timer, It looks like a big, D6 basically. And along the sides, there's time increments, and they come in different time increments. The one I got was 15, 20, 30, and 60 minutes. And then basically you kind of flip it over to whichever one you want to time, and it'll start timing, and then, it beeps when the time is over. And this is really good if you use the Pomodoro method or whatever other type of productivity method you're trying to use and kind of get through things, because I want to do the thing. Sometimes it's difficult to get started doing the thing because there's all this other stuff that I want to do too. And so, but if I can just say, okay, I'm going to do this for 15 minutes, I'm going to do this for 30 minutes, I'm going to do this for, I'm going to spend a solid hour on this, and then I can take a break and, check TikTok or, go do whatever, for a little bit. And so I did that. And so I spent 2.5 hours yesterday, and I got quite a bit done, and I was really happy with that. So I'm going to keep using that cube timer to see if that helps me stay on task. And it also, it's helpul for knowing how long I'm spending on things. So yeah, that was helpful. But anyway, I'm halfway through the captions. So what's left is the other half of the captions and trivia. I feel like I got over the hard part. It was the getting the story started. It just knew I wanted to say, but not how I wanted to say. The rest of it is a little easier to explain, I think, I hope, I pray, cross fingers. And then I have to do just the front and back matter stuff, just the normal stuff, and finish the cover. So I already have the art itself, the illustration for the cover itself is finished, but I still have to do the typesetting and everything that makes up the rest of the cover, and then design the back cover. So yeah. Might not be until, definitely still at least one more week of work, maybe two, depending on how things go. But yeah, still plugging away at it, and I'm really happy with the progress. Now, something I forgot to mention last week, was just kind of out of the blue, I got contacted to do a character cocktail. And it's so weird. I'd been thinking, maybe I kind of want to try and start doing that again, kind of, revive that old project that's been in storage. For anyone who doesn't know, which is probably, most people watching this probably, you're not going to know what I'm talking about. So I came up with this idea for a service back when I was still doing my webcomic, and I had a food and separate food and cocktail blogs. And I came up with this idea that I could create custom cocktails based on a person's personality, and then not just create the cocktail recipe, but put the recipe as a little frameable piece of art, do a comic version of them or caricature of them. Not really a caricature because that denotes a certain style, but anyway, draw them as a little character, decorate it, and it would be, my idea was that it would be a nice little gifty type thing. And I did a few of them. I really wanted to do more, but it was also at the same time that I was doing the cookbook, and the cookbook was taking off and taking a lot of time, and that was fine, but it was at the expense of being able to put a lot of time into promoting that. Not to mention the whole self-promotion thing is one of those hurdles that I really, really struggled with, and I'm only just now starting to understand why. It has to do with trauma, big surprise, but I'm working on getting out of my own head about that. Anyway, but that website has still been up, charactercocktail.com, and I got a random email from a woman who's planning a surprise party for her husband later this year, and she was like, "Oh my God, this is what I was looking for." And so, yeah, working on one of those again. So that's been fun. I'm actually just waiting on a little bit of feedback from her before I get started in earnest. So that is another thing that might, maybe delay completion of the coloring book depending on how that thing hits. But all in all, this is a good thing because A, more work is more work. More creative work is always a good thing. And like I said, I had been thinking that, yeah, I'd sort of been turning it over in my head that maybe I wanted to, you know, revisit that idea and see what I could do with it now that I couldn't do with it then, or didn't do with it then. And so to just out of the blue get this, I kind of see that as a little yes, do that from the universe, and I think that's cool. As far as everything else goes, you know, the garden is still doing great. I think it really has gotten too hot for the lettuce and kale to do anything, and I'm okay with that. I'm starting to see eggplants starting to blossom, and I've got some beginnings of tomatoes on the regular tomato plants, not the cherry tomatoes yet, but that's okay. And I think there's at least one zucchini starting. Some of those zucchini plants are like huge. And I learned last year, do not prune back the leaves. You might think there's a lot of them, but they actually, not only do they need them for that whole, you know, photosynthesis deal, but they actually help shade the vegetables as the vegetables grow, and it keeps them from getting overly dried out or sunburnt. So yeah, I learned that lesson last year. I learned it. So yeah, and it's been rainy this past week. So that has kind of helped because now I haven't had to manually water so much. And everything seems to be going good out there, and it makes me happy. Let's see, what else? You know, I think that's mostly it. Can I just say that I'm kind of proud of myself for getting this far, for sticking with this video series this long. I mean, I had really high hopes with Stashcraft 2019. But I didn't make it past, I think it was video, 12 or 13. I'd have to go back and look. But yeah, I didn't make it past the first quarter. And I was a little worried. I honestly was a little worried that starting this program again, starting up this project, same kind of deal, that I might run into the same obstacle. I might run into the same roadblock of it's just not sustainable. The fact that we are almost halfway through the year, which, but we are almost halfway through. This is week 26 out of a 52-week year, or this is week 23 out of a 52-week year. 26 is the midpoint. So yeah, we are 3 weeks away from being, halfway through the year, and I'm still showing up every week, and I'm still reporting, even if I don't have as much to report. And frankly, I am proud of myself. I'm taking that as a win, because follow through, and I used to take this like as a personal, I used to see this as a personal failing. I'm now understanding more and more that it's not, at least, or it's not only a personal failing. I don't know. It's not what I thought it was. It's not that I'm irresponsible and flaky. It's that there are very real challenges that I needed to be aware of and mindful of so that I can work to overcome them. That being said, it still takes effort and it still takes commitment, and so I'm really happy. And so for anyone who's watched from the beginning, thank you so much for being here with me. For those of you who have come in along the way, thank you for joining us. I hope you'll stick it out with us. I'd love to hear what you're up to. It has been an interesting year so far. I have a feeling that things are going to get more interesting. And interesting isn't always positive, but, we take what we can from it. There's that whole concept of toxic positivity where it's like, oh, well, at least it's this or at least it's that. And I worry sometimes with my habit of looking for the silver lining, even though I admit sometimes those silver linings are incredibly thin and oh so tarnished. I do like to look for the positives. But I also understand, when people say toxic positivity, I think what they mean is that we can't invalidate the struggle. We can, so I think the way to handle the silver linings or well, okay, we learned this from that and, we can take that away and stuff, is to honor the struggle, acknowledge it, feel it, embrace it even, maybe a little, and don't let looking for the silver lining or what did we learn from this experience eradicate the negative, because it's all about balance. And balance is something that for some of us we have to struggle really, really, really hard to achieve. And sometimes achieving balance means sacrifice. I'm learning. But that balance, and I know some people say that there is no such thing as true balance, but I want to believe in that I want to believe, I willingly to choose to believe that in this world we can strive to balance the things in our life, the inputs in our life, whether it's a work-life balance, whether it's a good, bad, how we balance our time for others versus ourselves. I believe that we can try for it. And unlike Yoda, who says, do or do not, there is no try, I do believe in trying. I believe that there's something to be gained from the effort. But I also am starting to realize that while things may be a struggle and they may require sacrifice, that doesn't have to be all. We don't have to continue to romanticize the struggle. We can admit that sometimes stuff just sucks. And sometimes things are hard. At the same time, we can say, yep, I managed this. It cost, I did this. It cost this. Sometimes you take a leap and it costs a certain amount of security. Sometimes you give something up and it costs an opportunity. Recognizing that cost is what keeps us from, or maybe it's what allows us to learn where our priorities are and what we're doing this for, what we're living this life for. Okay, what does that have to do with creativity? I know I kind of went down a rabbit trail there. How we spend our time is important. How we choose to spend our time is so important. And for me, like yesterday, I spent a chunk of time working on the book, but I also took a break and took a time out to hang out with somebody and watch a movie, well, over the phone, or watching it together, but apart. And that's, yes, could I have used those 2 hours or hour and 45 minutes or whatever to work on the book some more? I could have, but I would have sacrificed time that in a relationship that's important to me. So that idea of balance has been in my head a lot this week, and how we choose to use our time. And so, yes, my creative pursuits are important to me, but I don't think I have to give up relationships to pursue them. I don't think I have to give up everything in the pursuit of them. And in fact, doing so might actually be more harmful than, might do more harm than good. Because if you get to the finish line and you're exhausted and you're worn out, is it as much of a victory? So anyway, that's my update for this week. That's my thoughts for this week. I will be back next week as we get farther into June. I hope you have a good week ahead. I think we're coming to the end of the Mercury retrograde, and I don't know about y'all, but I am certainly happy to see that this cycle move on away. It has been a rough cycle. It has been a rough one. So yeah, but in the meantime, deep breaths, think about what we say before we say it, because especially for me. And yeah, again, try and do something that fulfills you, that makes you happy, that fills your tank. And I'll promise to do the same. All right, see you next week. Bye.